Okay, I did not want to do multiple videos today, so I waited, hopefully letting all the news trickle in, but as soon as I post this, we're going to get more. So, as of right now, four firings. That brings us up to a total of six openings in the NFL for head coaches. There might be more. We're just going to have to wait and see. This video isn't so much going to recap them, but explain the different types of changes we see after the season ends. Starting with coach gets fired, GM stays. Now, all these have pluses and minuses, but with this one, the owner is essentially saying the coach was the problem. I think the GM built a good roster. We just need to get some things fixed. What can be problematic here is if you've already got a GM in place, you're going to probably alienate yourself from some higher tier coaches that are available because they like to have a say in personnel. So be on the lookout for that. The other one, and this is my least favorite, is the coach stays, the GM gets fired. Why I like this the least is you're pretty much delaying the inevitable. You're keeping the coach, which is essentially a 1 year rental. You're convincing a GM to try to make it work with the promise that if it doesn't, you can just fire them and bring in your guy the following year. It just delays the restarting of the clock by 1 year, and it puts the coach in a very awkward position because they know they're on borrowed time even more than a coach already is. My preference is the clean sweep, not because I want to see people fired, but if you're going to make a change, make the full change, commit to a new philosophy, and start the rebuild, because that is why you were ultimately offloading coaching pieces, is because things didn't work out. The six openings we actually have at least one in each category, but most of them are in the GM stays, coach got fired. That is the Titans, the Giants, which happened in season, the Cardinals, who just fired Jonathan Gannon after a 15-36 record, Cleveland Browns, who surprisingly fired who fired Kevin Stefanski but kept Andrew Berry, and then the Las Vegas Raiders, who fired Pete Carroll, unfortunately, after what was a dismal season, and kept John Spytek. The Atlanta Falcons went for the clean sweep, which begs the question of would they have been better off if they had hired Bill Belichick? Maybe. We are never going to have that answer, but they certainly wouldn't be worse, and they probably wouldn't be in quarterback purgatory, as I called them screwed a couple of weeks ago. Miami went for the other option. They fired their GM midseason, currently right now debating whether Mike McDaniel is going to stay. If he does, they have a lot of changes that they're going to make, and whether or not that new GM wants to keep Mike McDaniel long term is to be determined. So six openings right now, all with their own little zest to them, and we're just going to have to see how they play out. So as always, we'll keep track as best as we can. If anything resonates, like, subscribe, and engage. We will catch you in the next one.